Hello, my name is Jennifer Dixon. I'm with Thrive Yoga and Wellness located in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Today we're going to move through a sequence that is going to focus on some strength building. I hope to get to target kind of like all of the main areas, building some strength in the legs, the abs, and the upper body as well. Just a good overall, nice little sequence. I'll hopefully give us enough opportunity to build some heat and then cool off, build some heat and cool off, just to really kind of enjoy ourselves and get moving on this sort of cold day. Remember, I am just a guide, so if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And if you want to stay where you are a little bit longer, then do that. I'm just here to guide you along. So, and then also don't forget to leave any feedback you may have below and drop comments. I can't respond directly to comments right now because I'm here, but I will respond to whatever comments come up after the fact. And if you really love what we're doing, we do have an online community building up. It's at thriveyogaandwellness.com/thrive dash online. So again, this is Jennifer Dixon. That's me with Thrive Yoga and Wellness. And let's get to practicing. Let's go ahead and start in a child's pose. Child's pose is toes together, heels slightly apart. No, knees slightly apart, excuse me. I like to do the knees apart a little more so than knees together on some days than others. Knees apart is a little bit more of a hip opener. Knees together is a little bit more of a low back stretch. You can bring your hands forward if you'd like to, or since we're just kind of integrating ourselves with the idea of practice, you can leave them down and back here as well. Pressing those hands into the mat if they're up in the front with me. Let me move this mic. And let's just start to think about this breath. This prana, that's your breath, is our life force. It helps to lift us up. The apana is the downward facing, the downward pressure. So the prana and the pana are kind of opposing forces, if you will, at all times with each breath. And we use that prana to help lift us up in our practice and in our lives. Start to press those hands into the mat, rotating those shoulders away from the ears for a nice stretch along the upper back. Now start to think about drawing that belly button in and up while you pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. It's a nice little stretch for you and activation along the core. One more breath. When you are ready, you're going to come up to your hands and knees. Try to stack those hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. You can be down on the tops of your feet, or you can plug your toes into the mat. Drop your belly looking up for a nice cow, and then rounding through the spine like a Halloween cat. You can start to move with your breath here, going up and down, or you can go side to side. Some people like to visualize the spine as like a string of pearls. A string of pearls you can't bend to a 90-degree angle, right? You have to go a little at a time. So if you like to visualize your spine bending a little, one little pearl at a time. Thanks. That was thanks to Marge, one of our students here at the studio. She said that was one of her favorite cues. Don't forget that you're still pressing into the fingers and the fingers, mostly on the thumb and the pointer finger side. We want to release the outside of that wrist, that pressure there. I'm moving side to side just to stretch out along the side body. That's psoas in the obliques region. So I've personally been working on a lot of core, integrating with the core. You guys, if you've been following me, you probably know that. So we're going to play with a few oblique exercises. I did this in class on Monday and got some feedback that it was a good, fun challenge. So we're going to try it again today. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and walk our hands out. You can stay here in this plank down on your knees, or you can come to your very first plank. Hello, warm up. Now remember, plank is not booty up in the air. That's more like a downward facing dog, right? So tilt that tailbone down and puff up between the shoulders. So don't sink down between the shoulders. Puff up there between the shoulders. Your gaze is forward of your fingertips, but you're not crunching your neck to look up. Push some weight back into those heels. That's going to activate the core and the quads a little bit more. Feels pretty good. Push that shoulders, puff them up a little bit more. One more. Let's come into downward facing dog. You might have to walk your feet up. That's okay. That should feel a little bit like a glorious thing, especially if you're still a little cold. Hang out here in your downward facing dog. If you notice, I really pressed my chest towards my feet. That feels good for a hot minute. I guess that'd be more like my thighs. I don't recommend hanging out in your downward facing dog. That can be really challenging on the shoulders, especially if you've got some shoulder issues. I prefer to do a down dog. I'm from an Ashtanga lineage, and so if you paid attention to Ashtanga down dogs, are usually a little shorter than the Iyengar, and their backs are almost a little bit rounded. That really forces the belly to be engaged. Keep breathing. One more. Nice. Let's go ahead and walk our hands back to our toes. Soften the knees as much as you need to. You can stay here with your hands on the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows. Let those heads hang. You can shake, no, nod, yes. Sway side to side, honoring yourself as you warm up today. You might find that suddenly, like, ooh, my head's going down a little lower and a little lower, and it feels delicious in that nice, juicy stretch way. Let's go ahead, grounding the hands, looking up, bringing the head just about to where your back is as straight as it can be. You can bring your hands up to your shin for this halfway lift, or you can leave your hands on the mat, and let's fold again. Inhale, halfway lift again, and then fold. Let's do that one more time. Pull those shoulders back a whole bunch as you halfway lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, but don't let the belly collapse in. So feel the energy working in the back of your legs to keep those legs soft and to keep the back body awake. And then let's forward fold. Go ahead and clasping those hands behind your back and let them hang heavy. Nice, gentle stretches for your shoulders. If your arms don't go down this far, totally okay. If they don't go down even further, super awesome mobility in the shoulders. Bring those hands back to your hips. Soften through the knees and start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Squeezing the glutes to make yourself do the work with the big muscles. Hello, and let's practice, right? So inhale, go ahead, bring your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Pull the shoulders back, inhale. Exhale, walk those hands back out to your plank. Remember, plank can be down here on the knees as well. I'm gazing just in front of my hands to make sure that I don't dump all of that 8-pound bowling ball. Puff up between the shoulder blades. One more. All right, let's ground down through that left hand, coming over to a side plank on the left. Hand can reach up tall on the right. Your left knee can come down to the mat as well if you'd like. Feet can be stacked one in front of the other or stacked on top of each other. What we like to do as you continue to practice is open up your chest towards the ceiling. Not necessary. That kind of disengages the core. So make sure your hips stay perpendicular to the floor. One more. All right, coming down to your plank. Stay here. One more. Now we're going back to the right side. I did a little tricksy to turn myself around so you're not staring at my back. Soften that right elbow. Remember, left hip is facing the ceiling, not facing the wall behind you. Totally engages the obliques in a different way, and it might make your shoulders collapse forward, so it intensifies the balance necessary. It intensifies the work, which is what we want to do, right? The joke is you're probably doing it right in yoga if it's harder. One more. Awesome. Plant those hands down. Hold this plank. One more. Okay, let's come to our right forearm, left forearm, right hand, left hand, left forearm, left hand, right hand. One more. Right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. Let's come down to the forearms. Right, left. Hold this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dolphin pose. So your core is getting a little bit of a break, but your shoulders should really be feeling it now. You guys know I love a dolphin pose. So if you want, you can keep both feet planted onto the mat, or you can shimmy them a little bit closer together there at the back of the mat, grounding down a whole bunch through that left foot, lifting that right foot, and let's do 5 dolphin push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right foot plants. Left foot raises. 5 more. 1, belly in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold this as we set that foot down. And then let's come to a child's pose. Nice little break there. Okay. In your child's pose, think to yourself, I can do that because we have so much more fun stuff to do. When you are ready, let's come back to our forearm plank. Your hands can be pressing into the mat, but if you like to hold the fist, that's okay too. I don't know why I was just doing that. Okay, so we're going to come over to the left side plank. I'm going to demonstrate it on my knee first. And you can stay down here on this elbow, or you can come up to the left hand. Kind of depends on your wrist, really. I don't want it to hurt too bad. So you can do the left elbow, or if you have a block, you can use a block. And what we're going to do is just lift that right leg and hold it. Lift the right arm and hold it. Hold it. Pressing that chest forward. Activating here along the right side body. All right, planting that foot down, planting that hand down, or you can stay there on your left elbow, yogi's choice, and then I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to demonstrate it up on the side of my foot. So when you're ready, right hand lifts. You're either down on the left knee or you're up on the side of those left toes and lift that right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Come to your plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're coming over to that right side. I'm going to demonstrate it on my knee first. Inhale, lift that. Oh, I'm not supposed to be turning you. Lifting that left leg up on that right elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, come on back down. We're going to plant, either stay right there on our forearms or come up to the right hand to the outside of that right foot. You can stay down on that right knee if you'd like. Lift that left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Come back to your plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down to child's pose. Catch your breath. Those are tough, right? That's like super intense, not just in the obliques, but also like in the shoulders, which is why it's a lot of fun. Okay. So when you've caught your breath, we're going to play with that just a smidge. From here, we're going to come up, and I'm going to face you. This is called in flow classes, they call this a gate pose. So here we are on our knees. And so it's kind of like we're setting up for a camel pose. Hands on your hips, you can be on your toes or not. We're going to extend that right leg out to the side. Now, this right here can be a balance challenge, and it can also be challenging to engage the core. Lengthen through the tailbone here, draw the belly in, and we can bring our hands out wide to a T. So step one is kind of hanging out here and balancing. Step two, you can come over here and do this side stretch just for a minute because it feels really good. And then from here, we're going to try to lower that left hand and come back up. For 5, lower, up, lower, up. There's 3. We're just doing 5, 4, and 5. Did you feel that crunchy stuff happening here? And the good crunch, right? For the side on the obliques. Now, we're going to try to bring the elbow and the leg together. So inhale, lift. 1. Set it down. 2. Woo, set it down. Try to go slow. 3. Set it down. 4. One more. This is so hard. 5. Set it down, stretch it out, and come back up to your knees. Let's do the other side. I hope you felt that on the obliques. You can totally tell I'm still working on strengthening those muscles back up. It's fun. So, coming back up to both knees. Remember your camel pose. So lengthen through the tailbone. Low belly in. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that, Jillian. Bring that left leg out wide. Now, first step is to just balance here, because this can be a little weird getting your balance when your weight is mostly on one side with this other leg out to this side. Now we're going to stretch it down, left hand coming down that left leg, feeling a great stretch. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, bring that right hand down, left hand's up, and we're going to lift the left leg for 5, 4, really focus on those obliques, 3, 2, 1, awesome. Okay. Now we're going to try to do both. I should have made us do lifting just this part, so maybe I'll do that, and then we'll go back to the other side. So when you're ready, let's lift them both. Inhale. 1, slowly down. 2, slowly down. 3, 4, woo. 5, awesome. Bring yourself back up. That's awesome for those obliques, right? Come down. You can hang out here in a nice little hero's pose just for a minute to catch your breath. Okay, I swear we'll get to flowing. This is just fun stuff with abs. Let's go ahead and roll on over to our hands and knees. And we're going to work those obliques a little bit more. You ready? Downward facing dog. We're going to ground down through that left heel, bring that right foot forward, suck in the belly, lengthen through the tailbone, slowly coming up to your warrior 1. Now we're trying to square yourself up to the top, to the front of the room. If that's not happening today, it's okay. It's a matter of how open your hip flexors are. If having your hands up is too much, you can bring your hands to your heart center, or they can hang out here behind you. One more. Nice. Let's go ahead and open up to warrior 2. Bring those shoulders down and away from the ears. We're going to stretch this right side body really fast. I guess nothing is really fast in yoga. Left hand down, right hand up. Gaze can be down towards those left big toes or up towards the right. Trying to stretch out that right side body. And then let's bring the right elbow to that right thigh, left hand coming forward. Extended side angle. Try to bring your chest to where it's facing the wall towards your left and bending that right knee a little bit more. Okay, so we can stay right here, or we can get no weight into that right elbow and lift your right hand like you're trying to hold a tray of drinks. And now you can stay right here for 5, or we can pulse it for 5, 4, keep that right shoulder forward, 3, 2, 1, coming back up, warrior 2. And then windmill those hands down to the mat and move through your vinyasa. That's high plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. Awesome. All right, we're going to go to the other side. Left foot comes forward into a warrior 1. So we're working on squaring ourselves up to the front of the room. That doesn't happen today. Totally okay. Remember that. Right shoulder tries to come forward to meet the left, bending into that left knee. Trying to reach and lift the arch of that right foot. So a little bit of yoga for your feet. Draw the belly in. And then opening up, warrior 2. Remember, belly stays in. It likes to collapse out because it doesn't want to work. So if you tilt that tailbone down, it forces the belly to work a little more, gets you into a nice and juicy warrior 2. Let's stretch this out with a peaceful warrior. Right hand down, left hand up. You can look at your right big toe, or you can look up at your left fingers. What you don't want to do is close your chest off. Keep your chest proud, and then come back to warrior 2, extended side angle. So what we like to do is our chest likes to collapse forward. So try to keep that chest open. Try to sink into that left knee. I wish you guys could hear this. My dog, Ruger, the boxer, is having a dream, and he's sort of snorting and running in his sleep right now. Okay, hold that tray up. And so you stay right here, pushing that left shoulder forward, or you do 5 pulses with me. So 5, squeeze the obliques. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Come back to your warrior 2. And then windmill your hands down. Let's go through a vinyasa. Good job. I'm glad I made it. I wasn't sure if today's practice was going to happen. I've been like in that cold weather funk. Whew, I could live where it was like 85 every day. My husband would murder me. I'm just kidding. He's not violent. He's not violent at all. He's a super, super teddy bear guy. He just would not be happy when it's hot. Okay. So now we're going to build on to that with a different sequence. Can't wait to see what people say to that. Right foot comes forward. And we're going to come into crescent lunge. Stay up on those left toes. Belly in, lengthen through the tailbone, and coming up. You can leave your hands here at your hips, or you can bring your hands to your chest, or behind you, yogi's choice. From here, after one more breath, we're going to ground down that left hand, little bitty break, twist this out, right hand up. One more. Awesome. Go ahead and hang out in a nice dragon for just a minute, because it should feel pretty good. All right, bringing those hips up, plant that right hand down inside that right foot. Spin that left foot down to like a warrior 2 foot and try to get your right knee to your right shoulder. If you don't have that inner thigh mobility, totally okay, but we want to bend that right knee so much it's touching the outside of that right shoulder. Pressing down into the outside of that left foot, rotating your torso towards the left. Here we are in what could be called like a Bikram triangle meets extended side angle meets, we're going to call this an extended side angle because Bikram triangle we're going to do here in a minute. Now, most of the time when you do this, your booty just sticks out really, really far. Draw that booty back in line with the knee. Now, what happens is you tend to collapse in the belly and make the back do the work when you do that because this is hard. So draw that belly in. Now we're going to come up off of those right hands and hover. This is that Bikram triangle. Gaze towards the left hand. No weight into this right arm. Helping to open up that right inner thigh. One more. And then windmill all of your hands down to the mat. Enjoy this stretch before we vinyasa. And now, before we get to the vinyasa, you want to try a fun transition? So we're going to come down to the knee in the back. Spin that left foot out towards the left. Grab hold of that big toe on the right. Look at your left hand, and the first thing you're going to do is tell yourself you can do this. Press down into the left hand, pick that right foot up. Here we are in a side plank. Let it go, hold it up. 5, y'all remember this? 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down at the back of the mat, coming back up to your plank and then vinyasa. So we're going to do that on the other side now. Woohoo! Bring that left foot, come on forward. And then make sure, see how the booty's sticking out? That equals pain in the low back. Tuck the tailbone, force the belly to do some work as you roll up. Feel the hamstring work here. Your hands can stay up at your heart center or behind your back. Try to bring your hips square to the front if you can, and remember those bandhas. That's that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Sink into that left knee a little more. One more. Now we're going to ground that right hand down. Left hand comes up and bend into that left knee a little more. Awesome. Planting that left hand down. Let's enjoy this little dragon lizard thing. Oh, for a hot minute. All right, going ahead, bring your hips up, rotate your right foot to where it's parallel to the back of the mat, setting up for our triangle part, our Bikram triangle, extended side angle part. So think to yourself, you can do this as you bend into that left knee a little bit more. If you're like me, this is the tighter side. It doesn't like to do this pose. Trying to get your left knee to your shoulder, but check it out. See how my booty's wanting to stick out towards the wall behind me? Draw that belly forward. Draw that booty forward. Try to get it in line with that left knee, which is pressing into that left shoulder. Now turn your torso to face the right. And you can even check in with your hips. Like, dude, what are they doing? Push them forward if they're sticking out too far. And hang out here. Let's do this. Just 3 breaths. You should feel opening in the hip, the inner thighs. Whew, like it's nobody's business. 2, one more. Now draw the belly in, look down at your left fingertips and tell yourself that you can do this. As you come up off of those hands, try not to straighten that left leg. That takes away some of the work here. Right shoulder back, left shoulder forward, 2. Gaze towards those right fingers, 3, 4, one more. Nice, go ahead, planting down both hands onto the mat. Enjoy this stretch for 1 more second, and then drop your right knee. Spin your foot out towards the right. Ground down a whole bunch into that right hand as you pick up those fingertips on the left and grab hold of the big toe with your peace fingers like this to your big toe. Now, remember that internal dialogue. You can do this. Grounding down through that right hand, right knee, pick that left foot up. Hang out here in your Vashisthasana, side plank. Elvis has entered the building for me, apparently. And then hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, plant the hands, move through your vinyasa. Nice. Catch your breath. Downward facing dog. Do what you need to do to honor yourself for just 5 breaths. Okay. From here, we're going to add a little bit of balance in. But I would be remiss if I didn't give you your time to play with crow. So let's go to downward facing dog. And you know I love to throw in some ab work. So from downward facing dog, we're going to play with some froggy jumps. What we're going to want to do at first is just you're thinking, dear God, get my feet forward, and you just plop them down, right? So our hips are nice and open thanks to those warrior twos and the crescent lunges and the dragons, right? So what we're going to try to do is instead of just plopping our feet forward, we're going to try to quietly bring them both forward so we land quiet as a mouse. So, but in order to get that way, let's practice the drills first. So from downward facing dog, bring the right foot to the outside of the right toe, take it back. Left foot, back, right foot, back. Left foot, back, right foot. This is 3, only 2 more each side. Right. You can stay here in down dog, that'll help you, or to make it harder, you do it from plank. I think we have one more. I'm not sure, I'm a terrible counter. Okay, now coming back to downward facing dog. Our hips are nice and open. They know exactly what to do. Let's play with it. Inhale, froggy jump as quiet as you can to the front. Malasana, nice. Let's do that 2 more times. We're gonna lift that booty up and shoot it back, downward facing dog. And let's come back forward, quiet as a mouse. Try to slow it down. Froggy, nice. Lift the booty up, shoot it back, downward facing dog. Last time, see if it can be quiet, no sound at all. Froggy jump, nice. Malasana squat. So who'd have thought that jumping was all abs, right? There's some theory that there's a prana and apana at work here, and the bandhas help to keep the apana down when you've got the mula bandha engaged and the prana up. Let's get into some deep thoughts as we hang out here in Malasana squat. To get into your crow, plant your hands down a whole bunch. You want them to be about shoulders width distance apart. Now, what most people do when they're first starting out is they bring their elbows out wide like military push-ups. We're going to have chaturanga elbows, which are elbows back. And so in order to do that, we can't be a Malasana squat, right? So lift those hips up and you shimmy, shimmy, shimmy those feet a little bit closer together. Bend the elbows back. Now, if you're brand new to crow and it's super frustrating for you, there's a couple of things that you can try. So a lot of people, especially if they come from a sports background, tend to appreciate the crow where your knees come to the outside of your arms and you get to use a little bit of like Suzanne Summers, what is that thigh master? So you're squeezing your inner thighs. She didn't pay me to say that, by the way. Squeeze, 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 lean forward, 1 or 2 feet come up, and here could be your first crow. Now, technically, crow can be any number of things, but if you can get 1 or both of your feet up while you're doing that, you're in crow, and that is awesome, and I'm going to give you a virtual high five. Woohoo! So, next step, or if you tend to have more like keen into the balance, what you can do, lift your hips up, bend the elbows back, set your knees high onto the triceps, look forward. If you look down, you are going to fall down. So look forward. Your feet are going to come up on their own, whether they want to or not. When you look forward, lean forward, and then suddenly both of those feet come up. And if you've been playing with crow for a while, play with straightening the arms, keeping the booty lifted. Nice. Fun stuff, right? So crow can meet anybody where they are. Coming back to Malasana when you're ready. One more. Okay. So now we're going to challenge some balance while we also work with some oblique work. Okay, so plant the hands down, shift the hips up, shimmy those feet forward. Now, actually, let's do a little bit of a hamstring stretch first because I feel like it's going to feel good. I'm going to go straight into gorilla pose with my hands underneath the feet. This was not in my plan, but I really wanted to do this right now. That's the beauty of yoga. You do whatever your body feels like doing. Oh, and every now and then you've got to make it do what it doesn't want to do, which for me is to go upside down. I hate going upside down. Okay, so we're going to ground down a whole bunch through this right foot. Soften your knees. Try not to lock your knees. We're going to grab that big toe with your peace fingers, suck in the belly. So something that is kind of fun to do, and I wish I had a tennis ball in front of me, is pretend you've got a tennis ball in your pants and you're sucking it in so much that you can still wear your pants, right? So belly's in a whole bunch. Soften that right knee. Keep that right hand on your waist to make sure your belly is in, and then pull your left big toe up, maybe. Now, if that's not happening today, you can also bring your hand to your left knee, softening that right knee, get really strong, and pull that left knee up. Yogi's choice. You should have been holding this now for 3, 2, 1. Now let's go out to the side. You can gaze over the right shoulder if that feels pretty good. Now when you go out to the side, don't let your butt go way far out behind you, and don't let your left hip get too far up, like go get all cattywampus. That can kind of dump into the sacrum on the right side. Bring that left foot forward. Now we're going to let go of the left foot. This is a shout out to my Ashtanga roots, and hold it for 3, 2, squeeze that right butt cheek. It'll help you. 1, shoot that left foot back. Hang out here in airplane. I like to have my hands on my hips because that's going to help me keep my hips square. I tend to let the left hip fly up high, trying to get my left leg higher. So this just keeps me square. Now I'm going to plant my right hand down, raise my left hand up, hang out here in half moon. Nice. Okay, soften that right knee. And now what we're going to do, leave that left hand up and lift the right leg. That would have been funny. Lift the left for 5. Pulse that left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold that left foot. We're only going to lift our right hand for 3. Let it down. 2. 1 more. 1. Awesome. Plant the hands down. Bring that left foot down. Shake it out. Eventually, when you practice your half moon, you're going to have your bottom hand off the mat too. This is kind of a fun way to get that engagement that you need in the core that's necessary to do that. And you can also do stuff up against the wall, which I'll do another day. I think we've done it before, because it helps you to just really engage through that balancing leg. So now we're going to ground down through that left leg. Is your right leg on fire? I hope so. Those hammies should be talking to you. Grab hold of the right big toe. Soften that left knee, left hand to your waist, and with all of your intention telling you that you can do this, press down in that left foot and bring that right foot up. Your left butt cheek has to do some work. If that's just not going to happen, you can bring that right knee up. It's all where you are. Yoga's going to meet you where you are. Remember, you can use the wall. Pull that right shoulder back if you can. 1 more. Now let's open up to the side. You can gaze over to the left if you'd like, but try not to let the right butt cheek go too far out or too far up. Let's bring it forward. And now let's hold it up. Squeeze the left butt cheek for 3, 2, 1. Bend that right knee, shoot it back. Here we are in airplane pose for 5. Really working those butt cheeks. 4, 3, 2, 1. Planting that left hand down. Right hand reaches up for the sky. Here we are in a half moon pose. And now we're going to try to lift that right leg. Ooh, I shouldn't have looked at the camera. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, soften the left knee, 1. Now let's try to just lift that left hand for 3, 2, 1. Plant the hand down, plant the leg down, wiggle it out, and be so thankful that we're done with that. Woo-hoo. Okay, so from here, we're going to plant our hands, walk our feet back. I'm going to try not to sneeze, and take your vinyasa. Look between those hands, and we're going to try maybe to bend your knees a whole bunch. Here we are at the back of the mat, like we're about to take off on a race, right? And we're going to try to keep our knees into our chest as we bring our bottoms forward to a seated position. So when you're ready, inhale, kick back, belly's in. Here we are sitting down. Woohoo! Okay. So let's figure out the ab muscles that we just used to do that. One of the things that's really great to work on that, everybody probably knows, is boat pose. Well, let's do boat, and then we're going to add some fun stuff to it. Remember, boat pose, your feet can be here on the mat. Your hands can be out, not super wide, but just outside of the knees. This can be your boat. In fact, let's warm up our transverse abdominals with maybe just 5 small movements. 5, flat back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We're going to lift this right leg up. It can be bent or it can be straight. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Plant it down. Lift the left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Now we're going to try to do 5 in our boat pose. So 5 kind of boat crunches. You ready? Your feet can be here on the mat. One leg, the other leg, both, or you can try to be straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Cross the right foot over the left. Hug them into your chest. Now, try to keep the back straight. Try to keep those knees into your chest. Squeeze those feet in. Feel the belly working. Now let go of the knees and hold the knees there. See, you want to keep them in. So here, squeeze them in. And now we're going to let go of those knees, but use the belly and the hip flexor, those psoas muscles, all of these integrating muscles to hold those knees in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it in. Let's wrap that left foot on top of the right. This is my harder side. It's weird how you'd think this pose would be the exact same. Just that one small movement changes all sorts of stuff. So belly's in. Knees are into the chest a whole bunch. You ready? Let it go. 4. Squeeze them in. 3, 2, 1. Hug it in. We're going to do that one more time. All right, let go for 5, 4. Squeeze those knees in. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Squeeze it in. Set it down. Now we're going to do one more ab drill. I'm personally working on the deep down low abs. So let's see if we can figure out a way to build strength to where our hips can get more stable, which will stabilize the low back. And one of the ways that I've been working on is a little bit of that knee to chest and extending it out. So you can hang out here, and I'll demonstrate it with my hands back and holding me up. And then I'm going to try to work on where I am working currently, which is look, mom, no hands. So you can leave that left leg extended out, or you can bend it in, or you can lift it up. Yogi's choice. I'm going to try to lift it up, see if I can. Bending into that right elbow, right knee in to the chest, shoot it out. In, out. That's 3, 4, one more, 5, and hover. Now let's just lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, and lift, and lift. Bring the knee in, left leg out, right? Bring it in. 1, 2, squeeze it in. 3, 4, 5, extend it out, and 1, lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Bring both of those knees in. Shoot both of those legs out. Set it down. How is that for awesome, right? And I think I'm supposed to leave my hands off the mat that time. Not going to happen today, apparently. Okay, ground down those feet into the mat, bending those knees, and we're going to play with bringing ourselves to where we're flat. So hold on to the outsides of your legs, and let your arms get straight and keep your back straight. Pretend there's super glue here at the back of those, on the bottoms of those feet. Now you see how flat your back is. You see how active your feet have to be into the mat. See if you can draw the belly in and let go. Here we are. Beautiful boat pose. Extend that right leg out. Set it down. Extend that left leg out. Set it down. Now see if you can extend both legs out. Set it down. Both legs out. Down. Out. Down. 2 more. Out. Down. 1 more. Out. Down. Woo! And now let's go ahead and bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Long body stretch. And then go ahead and bring both knees into your chest. Let's go ahead and twist it out just for a moment. Knees fall heavy over towards the right. Gazes towards your left. I'm going to go ahead and cross my left over the right to get a slightly deeper twist. All right. Bring knees back into the chest. Bring them into your center line, over towards the left. I'm going to cross that right over the left. Gaze over the right. Awesome. Bring it into your chest, cooling off just a hot minute. And now what we're going to do is come into a happy baby to stretch out the hammies and the hips. Maybe your knees can touch either side as you rock and roll. And then after a couple more breaths, we're going to try to extend those legs out wide like a V. Holy hammies. One more. Bringing them together. Now using your abs, keep that low back into the mat. I'm going to try to keep my hands up above head because most of the time I like to bring them here and help my belly out. I'm going to try to keep my hands up to keep my back, my belly out of my back out of this game. Make it be all bellies. Lowering the legs down, keeping that low back into the mat. When it starts to come up off the mat, bringing the legs back up. Lower, 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 lower. Hover with that low back on the mat. Hover, 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 and then drop it down. Wow, good job, guys. Okay, from here, we're going to bend that left knee, cross that right leg over the left leg, and come into a supine pigeon, Rajakapatasana. So I've got a little bit more mobility in my outside my lateral opening for the hips. So the way that I intensify this is I bring my elbow to my inner thigh, push that right knee away as I pull this left knee towards my chest. Now, if you can't get down that close, totally okay. This is some opening for the outside of that leg, piriformis. All sorts of goodness going on here. All right, releasing it. Shake it out and cross that left foot over the right. Bring them into your chest. So I'm putting my hand in between my legs where that little bitty triangle shape is, wrapping my hands around the right shin. You can use your right side hammy, but that doesn't do too much for me. So I have to grab my right side shin, left knee to my left inner thigh, left foot super flexed. Pulling that knee into my chest as I push that right knee in, as I push the left leg away. All right. Go ahead, ground those feet down. Everybody's favorite part of a yoga class, right? Let's get at least 3 back bends in. We're going to try to do 1 bridge. You can do all 3 bridges and 2 wheels. That's going to be my goal today. So to get your bridge in, you're going to bring your hands to your heels, making sure your heels are about hips width distance apart. On the inhale, you're going to lengthen through the tailbone. Pretend you're doing one of those buns of steel videos. Lengthen through the tailbone, squeeze and lift into your bridge pose. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy those hands up and underneath you and your shoulders up and underneath you. Try to bring your chest to your chin, not the other way around. Lift those hips up for 3, 2, 1. Releasing those hands, slowly coming out of your bridge pose. Nice. Now you can come right back to bridge, or you can join me in a wheel pose. Pretend you're on your playground when you're like in kindergarten, and you could do this like it was nobody's business, right? So plant those hands facing towards the shoulders, elbows up. When you first are starting, your elbows are going to want to go out wide. But if you've been practicing for a little while, try to squeeze those elbows in. Feet stay exactly where they were with bridge. Tailbone lengthens down. Slowly come to the top of your head at first, and then push yourself up when you're ready. Now, as you build mobility in the shoulders, you'll be able to straighten the arms, mobility and strength, and maybe start to work towards straightening the legs. Not important. Doesn't have to happen today. Bending those elbows, try to bend them and keep them in, coming back down to the mat. 1 inhale, One exhale. Next inhale, plants those hands down to the mat. Exhale, squeeze those elbows in, coming back to your bridge. This is wheel for 5, 4, 3, 2, bellies in. 1, squeeze the elbows in as we come down. One more wind removing knees to the chest pose. Good job, guys. And when you are ready, we're going to bring our hands out wide, mats width distance apart. Drop your legs, mats width distance apart. Come into your Shavasana. If you have the time and you'd like, I invite you to do a shoulder stand, help to get some of that lactic acid we may have built up from the limbs back to your heart so you won't be sore. But if you can, try to take advantage of this wonderful feeling that's going on right now for your Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun, maybe tried something new. I hope I was able to challenge you and challenge some of your things that you thought were possible and that they became possible, or you could see where they would come to be. Oh my gosh. And I really appreciate you stopping by. Again, if you liked how we practiced today and you are in the Chattanooga area, we are Thrive Yoga and Wellness. My name is Jennifer Dixon. Or rather, if you are not in the Chattanooga area and you'd like to keep up with us online, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We will be adding content to it weekly. And we have an online community on Thrive Yoga and Wellness /Thrive Online. I can't wait to practice with you again soon. Take care. Namaste.